See if my head's cut off. I feel like it's crooked, but it shouldn't be. Maybe I'm crooked. Hey guys, it's Sarah and it's Sunday, so it's time for my regular weekly update video, which has been a long time coming since I have skipped a couple weeks, so I'm sorry about that. So updates. For my story that I wrote for NaNoWriMo, I'm at 54,633 words. I am using the Nano goal tracker to keep track of my progress over there, so if you want to keep me accountable, you can follow the link, which will be down below. I'm right now supposed to write like 600 or 700 words a day. That's not too hard, so that works out pretty well. But that also means that time that I'm doing that, I'm not editing, but my editing is moving along as well. I just started on chapter 12, which is like 18 pages into what used to be chapter 10, I believe. That's the one I split into 3 sections. So chapter 12 goes into the last 2 or 3 pages, and then chapter 13 is only a couple pages. That should take me another week or so to get that wrapped up. Yeah, that's right about 30 pages. That does take some time, but I should be able to, if I can sit down and focus, I should be able to make some progress. Hell's Bend, I would assume, would be done probably by the end of this week, if not the end of next week. And as far as my Nano project, that should be done by the end of the month at the very latest. And then I should be able to move on to editing other things. I still have to edit Boys again, and then Nano 2017 is going to need a run, but I need that to sit for like a month. So the rest of my video today, what I wanted to do was I created my own tag. I'm calling this the free time tag. It's going to be kind of about what we do when we're not writing, because we spend a lot of time on our AuthorTube channels talking about our writing goals and our writing lives and everything having to do with what we do when we're writing. That I feel like, aside from like a straight Q&A, this is a good way for you to kind of learn some different things about us that might not be related to writing directly. Number 1 is, do you have any hobbies? I have several hobbies. I play Dungeons and Dragons. That's probably my most steady hobby. I do that every single Tuesday. We have a D&D game. A couple Tuesdays ago, we only had 2 people and a person who'd never played before here, so we just ran a different kind of D&D game. We're playing a Savage Worlds game that is on sporadic Saturdays. The other group, the people we're playing with in that one are other couples, and one of them has kids and both are divorced, so those kids kind of are back and forth, and so we do a lot of juggling with those kinds of scheduling things. I also like to read, obviously. Writers read, that's usually true. I'm a slow reader though, so audiobooks help me a little bit. I like to also listen to things that you don't typically think of as being well written, but I like the storytelling aspects of them. For instance, those Reddit stories and things like that. You can find a lot of them on YouTube. I listen to like Let's Read and Corpse Husband and things like those channels where, the stories might not be true. They might not be the best written stories. They might not be the best top of the line fiction. They're not novel length, but there's definitely something to be taken out of them, and I love spooky stuff. I also play video games. I'm pretty big into video games. I have a really strange type of games I like, though. I play a lot of Sims, but I also play Sims Medieval, which no one on the planet plays other than me and CJ, but I really enjoy that. I play Spore, which most people don't play anymore, but I find that a lot of fun. But then I also play games like clicker games, or I used to play DDO, but they got bought out by another company, and it's kind of a shitstorm, and I do not like it at all anymore. There's all kinds of strange changes, like in order to go to the store, you have to come out of the game and go to a web browser outside of the game. but it didn't used to be like that. So it's not like it's a programming issue. It's a they decided to change that issue. The price went up a little bit. The quality of everything went down a little bit. So it just wasn't worth $15 a month. But I enjoy games like Day of the Tentacle and Kelvin and the Infamous Machine. I always want to say Impossible, but it's Infamous. There's an old game from like, I don't know, 2001 probably, called Ghostmaster that you can get on Steam for stupid cheap. It's usually like, I think I paid $1.24 when I bought it. But it's a game I played when it came out, and it was so much fun. Basically, you like control these ghosts and make them scare people to do what you want them to. A lot of times you're just trying to like clear a house, but sometimes you're trying to scare people to go into an area or whatever. It's so cool. It's so much fun. You can buy the ghosts new powers. There's one who has like hooks for hands and he rips himself in half and bleeds everywhere. It's fabulous. It's so much fun. And it's really cartoony. It's not like actually scary. It's just really funny and silly, and people screaming and running out of houses and stuff. And then a lot of their settings are like homages to old movies. Like there's an Animal House homage, there's a clear Animal House homage, there's an Evil Dead homage, and there's, you know, those kinds of things. So those are a lot of fun as well. But if you've never played Ghostmaster, I highly recommend it. It's not that hard on your computer because it's so old, and it's super cheap. But it's a blast. I enjoy it a great deal. Do your hobbies enhance or influence your writing in any way, and how? I think that all of my hobbies are really related to my overall interests. I like spooky things. I like things that unsettle. I like things that make you think. So all of the things that I do kind of encompass those things. If I watch a movie, it's usually in that vein. However, I really enjoy comedy. But that's obviously not what I write, but I enjoy really ridiculous comedy. I don't know that that influences my writing a great deal, other than the fact that I think that horror relies on timing almost as much as comedy does. So I think that sometimes just understanding comedic timing can help you to understand how to pace something that's horror. So that's another thing. Pretty much everything I do influences my writing to some extent. What is your ideal day off? If I'm off from everything, if let's say I'm taking a day off for writing for some reason, usually it would be playing video games. That's usually a good time sink for me. I enjoy kind of switching between video games. I enjoy especially playing video games while watching random YouTube spooky videos. That's a good combo for me. Name something solitary you enjoy doing. I really enjoy playing video games by myself. I like MMOs. I like playing with other people. That's all well and good. But I really enjoy playing solitary video games. It doesn't bother me at all. Name something social you enjoy doing. I love playing D&D. That's pretty freaking social. It's usually, you know, our Tuesday night game is my living room literally full of other people. So, but the thing is that those people aren't idiots, so I don't mind being around them. When people are idiots, I don't want to be around them. What activities make you wish you were writing? Cleaning, my day job. The whole time I'm at my day job, I wish I was writing. But realistically, I wouldn't be writing if I wasn't at my day job. I'd probably be dicking around, not being nearly as productive as I should be. What do you do as short breaks between writing sessions? For instance, if you're doing sprints or something like that, if you have 5 minutes in between, or you have a half an hour in between, or you know, you've written for 3 hours and so you're going to take a half an hour break, what do you do with that time? Frequently, I'll watch YouTube videos. I will surf the internet in general, make a cup of tea or something like that, maybe get a munchie, those kinds of things. I rarely play video games between writing sessions because that spirals into me not going back to the writing. However, I do have a clicker game that is like a click and sit, so you tell it like go do this thing and then 15 minutes later it's done. So a lot of times I'll use that to time my writing sessions. The thing with that game though is that there's literally nothing you can do for more than like 15 minutes total. Like the most time you can spend playing this game is like 15 minutes before it has to sit again. I just kind of set it up, hit play or whatever, and then I go back and I write until it's done, and then I set it up again and hit play, and that works pretty well for me, partly because I'm getting that reward of like, I'm just trying to pass the time until my person's done fighting. So that's really fun. That's Shakes and Fidget. I don't know if any of you know that game, but that's what game that is that I play that way. What is your biggest time sink? Facebook, maybe. Not necessarily Facebook itself, but like listicles off of Facebook. I've been trying not to do as much of them, especially when they don't actually matter to me. There's no reason I would read a listicle about Doctor Who, but I have. I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who, never in my life, for no other reason than I just haven't. But why am I reading a listicle about it? I have no fucking idea. So that's probably the worst for me. Second would be YouTube. The problem I run into with YouTube is that if I'm trying to accomplish something, I can have YouTube running like concurrently, because I have a big computer screen, so I can have it next to it. But the problem there is that if the videos are less than like 3 minutes, I start to get anxious immediately. I have a time anxiety issue. So if they're less than 2 minutes, I'm like, I don't have enough time to even start writing. Even though 2 minutes is time to write. That is enough time to write. But my anxiety doesn't let me kind of do that, so I get derailed. So I usually have to find videos that are 15 to 20 minutes or more, so that I feel like it can just run, because that's the problem, is that I'm like, I have to find a different video because the silence doesn't bother me in general, but the silence after I've listened to something, like when I've been watching a video, can be really like obnoxious. And then what do you do to reward a reached goal? I don't really do a whole lot. I know a lot of people do. I kind of tell a couple people who give a shit, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, realistically, we don't have money to do big rewards and go out to dinner or buy a bottle of champagne or anything like that, so I can't really do those things. So I just kind of tell the couple of people who give a shit, and then I say yay. So sometimes I make a YouTube video. But I think that does it for today. Thank you very much for sitting through my free time tag. I am going to tag CJ Bloyer and Alina. I don't know how to say your last name, Alina. Holy crap. Like, I'm supposed to be able to use text now on Adobe. Someone try to put it here so you can see her name, because I don't know how to say her last name, and I don't want to sound like an asshole. That's who I'm tagging. I already told you guys I was going to tag you in a tag video soon, so I hope you don't get too pissy about it. And otherwise, I'll see you guys later, and have a wonderful writing week, and good writing. Bye. Hey guys, it's Sarah. I was just realizing that I didn't know what I was doing here. I don't know how to record a video all of a sudden. It's been like 3 weeks. No idea what I'm doing.